Yes, sir.
Heidi ho, everybody. And guess what? We have it. No, this ain't Grammy's rocket chair. This is just, oh, and I muted myself. I got to turn that off. Okay, my video is turned off. Okay, now that I'm done pushing buttons, I hope y'all can hear. This is the Dork Table. I am Grammy Mary. I am helping host it this week, and we got Flash here and the lovely Circling. Heidi ho, everybody over there on that effing site, Freedom's Network, and to anyone listening in from over on Fakeybook. Hey there, hi there, ho there, love y'all, and looky there at that RLM chat. And Beth was shaking the fog off. Shake it, girlfriend. Okay, let me real quick say hey there, hi there, ho there to everybody in the chat. I see Asmo on top again because that is his favorite position. I'm going to start calling him the missionary man. I also see Barman is here, who is doing all of the lovely tweeting and weeding and saying bye
Uh-oh.
and hi and kiss my ass and all that fun shit. And looky there, the lovely Beth Z is here, as well as Grimner. Hey there, Grimmy. How you doing today? Awesome Freakers Ball last night. I had a grand time, but wow, I was having a hell of a time keeping my eyeballs open. I had to cut out early. Damn wussy. I also see Kate is here. And Kate, are you still floating away? I haven't checked the radar today. I just know I don't have any moisture in the forecast. Hopefully. And looky there, the lovely Circling is here, as well as Free Enslaved. Hey there, darling. How you doing? Sorry I didn't say goodnight to you last night. I was just kind of... it was a weird night last night. When I got the news that my uncle passed away, it was like my brain just kind of went weird. And so, yeah, I wasn't necessarily firing on all cylinders. Oh well, I'm back though. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I also see IB Don C is here, as well as Java Doctor 2, the new and improved version, and I happen to have a cup of Java right here. And looky there, RLM 3013. Hey there, sweetheart, how you doing? And Salvanor, sweetheart, I listened to you while I was cleaning up around the house. I didn't get a whole hell of a lot done because I'd have to stop and listen real close, but I did get a couple chores done. I also see Balls is here. Well, we've got big balls. Who's got big balls? Somebody's got big balls because they got a big Z there too. And looky there, Chalcedony is here, as well as yours truly. And Hans! Hans! I keep, every time I see your name, I want to go, Hansel? Hansel and Gretel? Don't go there. The queen's going to cook your ass. I also see Juana Taco is here. How you doing, darling? And looky there from down under, the lovely Mary B. G'day, young lady. Would you like to join us? That would be absolutely amazing. I think
Yeah.
you have me on Skype. It would be
Oh,
cool if you
yeah.
wanted to come join the Dork Table.
Oh,
And to
yeah.
round out the crew, P. Bunyan, who I actually did get to see a picture last night of Babe the Blue Ox, so I feel much better, although P. Bunyan's is green. Wow, I'm thinking that's a personal problem. Oh well, now that I've said hey there, hi there, ho there, everyone, I'm going to let Flash take it over because this is his baby. So go for it, dude.
My baby. Oh boy. Yeah, today on the Dork Table, I thought I'd like to talk to you about your run for public office. And you have previous experience, right? I mean,
Yes.
okay. I want to make sure I'm clear. I know I'm kind of stoned right now, so I'm not working off notes,
Ah,
just top of my head. But when I first met you, I don't think you were still involved in politics at that time,
no,
right?
I was not.
This is okay. So this is the second time you're going to try this crap.
Yeah, I'm throwing my hat in the ring again. Yeah.
All right, and I'm not judging uh, so much the government and all this kind of crap this time. I'm going to let all that crap go, and try to figure out more, why are you interested in doing this, and what would you hope to accomplish if you get what you're after? What are you going to give back?
Hey there, Mary B. Welcome aboard,
G'day.
lovely lady.
Hey,
Hello.
B.
Hey, how you going?
It's a going. How are
Good.
Good.
you?
Good, good. Oh, it's 2 in the morning. I'm still awake.
Mm. It's
Well,
cold or hot? Yeah, you're cold, right?
It's sort of cold, but we've had lots of rain and some cloud cover, so it's not quite as cold as it has been. Maybe tomorrow morning it's going to be awful.
ooh.
Frosts.
Well, that was kind of fun. Yeah, well, you've been a standing member of the Dork Table for a long time now.
Yeah, that's right. Since its
Re-
invention.
yeah, remember when we were banished to the Dork Table way back when?
Yeah, I sure do.
Such a punishment, you know.
It was a
All your
privilege.
toys, yeah, all your toys are in on the table. Go sit over there and play with them. Oh, okay.
Oh, darn. Twist my arm. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was going to try to twist Mary's arm and find out why she wants to be a ruthless politician.
Me? Oh, bullshit.
No, Mary.
Oh, Mary, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really want to be a ruthless politician, but after, yeah. I mean, the first time when I was on city council, the ex was really excited that I was running, and then really excited when I won the election. I actually beat 3 other people, but yes, free enslaved. It is another repeat. Pete and repeat were sitting on a bench. Pete fell off. Who's left? Repeat. Pete and never mind. In any case, wow, and I've got that ocean's roar going again. Damn it! What the hell? How in the heck is that going on? In any case, yeah, the ex thought that it was really cool that I was in politics, because he said, now I can do to a politician what they've been doing to me all my life. And it's like, oh, wow, I feel wonderful. Thank you, dear. Another one of those reasons why he's an ex. But, yeah, it's one of those things where the more you talk to people and the more you find out that everybody, pretty much has the same grump, and yet nobody is ready to step up and say, okay, I will step in there and at least learn how in the hell this shit works, how you guys come up with this reasoning, and why in the hell we are putting up with this crap. If no one else is willing to throw their hat in the ring, then, well, I don't know if it's that I ain't got right good sense, or if I just got more balls and brains, or what the hell the deal is, but I figured I'll throw my hat in the ring, learn what the hell is going on, see if I can figure out a way to maybe not make it quite so obnoxious, or at least be able to explain to other people so that when everybody understands, knows what's going on, we can all go, alrighty then. So, now that I am really hearing an echo in the background. What's going on? In any case, now I can tell people that, okay, we all understand. We all know what's going on. So, how's about we all grab our pitchforks now that we all know how this shit's working? We can all grab our pitchforks and go kick some ass and take some names. Pretty much.
What and okay, so you're gonna kick some ass and take some names, and what are you gonna sue people, or are you gonna beat them up, or are you gonna
Uh,
force them to see? You're gonna force them to see things your way. I mean, what? How does all that work?
well, there's only 3 people on the county commission to start
And
with.
what are they responsible to do, so we know what you're gonna try to do in the first place?
They are responsible for making sure that the county roads, we have enough funds to make sure the county roads are maintained. Um, let's see. Well, the county is where all of the taxes kind of get distributed out of. That's for That's for when, oh, let's see, for school. The school
So
taxes come through the county. The
so this is
hospital
real,
taxes come through the county.
but this is real hands-on things that you actually deal with, not just ideas that you are told about in stories, like the president and all that other crap.
No, this is real hands-on stuff, and it's deciding: do we want to get another payloader? Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? So it's learning to balance the budget so that the area, the roads are maintained, the hospital stays open, all that fun stuff. And part of the problem that's going on right now out here is that we have a new hospital administrator that seems to think that we need to be the hub for Northwest Kansas, even though anytime somebody gets hurt out here, yes, they go to the hospital, they go to the ER, and then they get shipped out. They go to a bigger hospital either in Denver or in Wichita or whatever. Very little gets, oh, hey, the noise stopped, so I don't know what's going on there, but very little is actually, we're just kind of uh, like a triage center, I guess. We do have a very nice facility for rehabilitation. People that shoulder replacements, knee replacements, people that need to do back rehab or whatever if they've been in some kind of accident. And it has a wonderful workout area for people, and you can purchase a membership for it. And that was actually on the path to paying itself off within the 5 years that they had added tax to do it, until we got the new hospital administrator. And apparently the three people that are on county commission do not know how to tell this guy that we are not Denver, we are not Kansas City, we are not Wichita, we are not even Salina, the Salina Regional Medical Center. We're fucking Podunk, Northwest Kansas, and we do
Yeah.
not need a cancer treatment center. We do not
Oh, wow.
need a
Yeah.
cardiac treatment center. We don't need those things. But apparently those three that are on there right now don't know, and they're all three men, by the way. Not that that necessarily has a whole hell of a lot to do with it, but I would think, okay, these are guys. They all three come equipped with balls, and yet none of them are using them. Apparently, it's going to take a mouthy old broad to step in and go, excuse me. I don't like the fact that my property tax, my house valuation dropped $10,000 and my property tax went up $600. What the
Yeah.
fuck? So I want to
Explain
know
that.
what's going on. That's why I'm running. I want to learn how this shit works so that I can say, I can call bullshit on it, or I can explain to everybody else, okay, this is how shit works. And if you don't like the way it works, let's get our heads together and figure out a way to do it different.
Wow.
So
Does that sound familiar, B?
she muted herself.
Oh, she muted. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I put it back up.
Oh,
Hang on, wanna-
okay.
But does it still make the noise?
Yeah.
A
but
little
that's
bit,
okay.
yeah.
I still wanted to hear what you had to say.
Oh, I'm not into politics. Go for it, Grammy, because we need to, I suppose, need people like you in there. But it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, there's a
But
lot of
it-
people that they just don't, they have the wonderful free enslaved, honey. We do have doctors that know how to deal with that stuff. We have some wonderful medical people, but we do not need what he wants as a cardiac center where you can do heart surgery. In a town of 2,100 people, we do not need that added expense.
No.
We can't
Well,
afford the doctors. We would have to fly the doctor in from Denver anyway. So why fly a doctor in when you can fly you to the doctor? So that makes more sense to me. But we do have wonderful doctors here, but we don't need to have all of the brouhaha bullshit to go along with it.
But wouldn't the other side of the argument be, but it would bring business to us or whatever the hell they're after?
Well, see, that's what the rehab center was for. And it does. We have people come from 90 miles away to do their physical therapy there. So, yeah, The rehab center has done that, and it's wonderful. Um, we have people from 5 different counties that have memberships at the workout facility because it's one of the best ones in the area. But um, we don't need these other things. They are not necessary for a community of 2,100, for a county that has a population of less than 4,000. We do not need that stuff.
Yeah. So it's safe to say things like people with small communities across the country. Well, you're probably your country anyway. Uh, the less they know, the easier it is to pull this shit on the society that you live in, and then you get stuck with bills you can't explain, like the 600 on your on your property tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they drop the price of the house and they raise the taxes and they just tell you, well, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Nobody
Why?
explains it.
Well,
Bloody
yeah, but it.
taxes. We got an sorry, I'm interrupting.
No.
We got a new council elected in, right? And the first thing they did was up the rates by 4% and gave themselves a 2% wage rise.
Yeah.
Those are the two things they did.
Well, because they're worth it, don't you know?
Well, I don't think so.
And oh, but you guys approved it because you voted them in. See, that's their bullshit mentality that they have.
Yeah, but
Well,
I don't vote. You see, that's my little my rebellious thing because it's compulsory voting over here. You get fined if they catch you, and I haven't. But I voted once. I voted once in New Zealand when I was 18, and that was the last and only time I voted. Although I did vote in the council to get rid of the fluoride in our water. So, but then I wasn't registered to vote. I did it under my youngest daughter's name, so I voted for her. But yeah, no, it's so we've got an election as well, and their thing is jobs and growth, jobs and growth, jobs and growth, jobs and growth. That's all
Mm-hmm.
we're hearing, and it's just a pain in the ass. Sickening.
Yeah. You know, we had someone out here that some community leaders decided that we needed to have an economic development board out here to help us grow economically and develop our resources. And we wound up between the city, the county, and the school contributing $100,000 a year to this board that had one paid employee. And at the end of 5 years, which according to their guidelines of how they set it up, it was supposed to be self sustaining. By the way, it also charged for memberships. It was not self sustaining. And at the end of 5 years, they wanted to have a raise because they just didn't have enough funds coming in to properly do the job that their charter said that they were supposed to do. Well, I happened to be on city council when this happened, and I happened to be my typical mouthy ass self, and I said, no, because I was on the chamber board when you guys started this whole thing, and I remember distinctly the charter and how you were supposed to be self-sustaining after 5 years. It's been 5 years. Are you self-sustaining? Well, no, we need you all to contribute an additional $5,000 a year. And I said, where? Where are we going to get that from? Well, I need a raise. And I said, okay, show me just exactly what you've done to develop out here. Show me exactly. Tell me, what businesses have you brought out here? And he looked at the one paid employee looked at me and he said, mind you, this is in a council meeting. He said, well, I brought Dollar General. And I said, no, you didn't. And he just looked at me and I said, I happen to know who was in on the talking on that. And it was the person that owns the building that Dollar General is leasing. It was not you. So you did not bring Dollar General. Tell me. a business that you brought here to actually justify the wage that you are making? Well, I'm working on getting us a dairy. And I went, oh, lovely, because, I heard about that. So I did some research and I found out that there's a freeze line. And we are 40 miles north of that freeze line. So the type of dairy that you have been sharing the information on what you're trying to get going out here, an outdoor facility where all it has is a covering for the cows to go under, but there are no walls to it. No, that's not feasible. They don't do that out here because it gets too freaking cold. So, please tell me one thing that you have done to deserve not only the 100,000 a year that you have gotten, but an additional 15,000 that you're asking for. Well, I didn't bring my notes, and I said, well, then you're not getting my vote. And they didn't put that in the minutes. And I was livid because they are supposed to have all of that in the minutes so that people that can't make the meetings can see what's going on. So I wrote a letter to the editor, and I explained exactly what I said, and spelled out the numbers, did the little math thing for everybody so even those that are math challenged could understand, and typed it all up so it wasn't that she couldn't read my writing or anything, and took it down to the newspaper on a Friday because I wanted to make sure it got into the paper, because out here we get one paper a week. Everything has to be there by noon on Monday. So I took it to her on Friday at noon. Friday evening, I had 3 phone calls. One from the city administrator. Nobody's supposed to see this shit, by the way, because it hasn't been in the paper yet. I get a phone call from the city administrator. I get a phone call from the president of the Economic Development Board. I get a phone call from someone from the chamber. All 3 of them asking me, how can you do this? You can't print that. And I said, why can't I? It was not an executive order or an executive session. It was an open meeting, and I am just expressing my opinion. And then the one that was the president of the Economic Development Board said, well, I'm going to write a rebuttal letter. And I said, well, that'll be lovely. You just go ahead and do that. You write that rebuttal letter and you get that to Barb so that it goes in the newspaper the same day that my letter comes out. And then everyone in town will know that y'all are working in cahoots. And he went, oh. And yeah, my letter went. There was no rebuttal letter ever written to it. But when my letter printed, it had so many typographical errors that the next week I wrote another letter to the editor, and I challenged everyone to count all the grammatical errors, all of the typos in the first letter that I wrote that was published in the newspaper. And by the time people got done calling me or stopping me on the street and telling me, good job, loved that letter, call their asses out, and then letting me know how many typos there were, I told people I'm going to do $5 for every typo that people find. I wound up donating $5 to the Christmas Light Fund. Or not $5, but $95 to the Christmas Light Fund.
95. Oh,
$95 to the Christmas Light Fund. Because that's pretty much how many typos were in my letter to the editor. And it was like, really? Seriously? So, yeah, a lot of people that know me from city council know that I won't put up with their shit.
Wow, there's 2. You're like what's that guy called? Jekyll and Hyde.
I can be.
No, I'm not saying can't. I'm definitely accusing you of Jekyll and Hyde-ness. Dorks do these things. We say off the wall shit that makes people choke on their tobacco.
Oops, I hate when that happens.
But well, really, I mean, I've known you quite a while, and we always carry on and giggle and all this other shit. But this Nazi dictator that you can seem to turn it on and off like a light switch is interesting. Wow. Do you bounce parties or what?
Do I bounce part? No. No.
Jeez. Well, you know, I I was raised in that old standard where women were a little weaker than men, so a little nicer to them than you would be to the guys, unless of course that's the way you swing, and then do it out of my face because we don't want to watch it. And I came up in a different world, right?
Uh huh.
So to carry on with you all this time laughing and giggling and then here you go off on this pissed me off and by god I was going to do something about it, blah blah blah. It was kind of like seeing the other, that dark side of you.
Well, that's my evil twin.
Does she have a name?
No, it's just me. It's just when I let the evil spirits out of the building, it's
Wow.
like, all right, damn it, I am just sick and tired of this shit, and I'm not gonna put up with it.
So what you're saying is all these expenses that people make up and with the intent just to be making money that nobody can account for.
Yeah.
And well, how many other people spotted that and just didn't say anything? Because when you start going, hey, that guy's stealing something, and then other people will all of a sudden go, yeah, hey, he is. But somebody, the first one is usually like Dracula.
Well, it was actually kind of funny because um, after I wrote my letter to the editor and after all of this stuff kind of sort of settled down, it was amazing how many people started going, wow, I didn't pay attention until I read your letter to the editor.
Ah,
And then
okay.
they started,
Hmm. Yeah.
I was actually getting phone calls from people on school board and stuff saying, why did you do that? Well,
Yeah.
because it needed to be done. Well,
Right, but
now I'm
what
getting phone
condition?
calls. Well, guess what? I've been getting them for months. It's about time somebody else gets them too.
But
So,
how did you crack the conditioning? Because we all been through some form of it. Come on. You had to be conditioned at to some level to not want to get involved in it. How did you ever do that?
watching my mom.
Ah, okay. I got the answer I was looking for. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, my mom is a tough cookie. Let me tell you. And she had to be. She had to be because when she and Dad split, there was six of us still at home. And
Monsters.
yeah, and she paid the house off early. She busted her ass. She let me live through puberty because all of that one was going on when I was a senior in high school, and I already had teenage itis going on, like who laid a chunk, and then that on top of it all. And she let me live. So,
Yeah.
I look at
Uh,
that and I think, wow, my mom is one tough cookie. So, you know, she kind of taught me. If you
well,
don't, if you want something to get better, then you got to step up and try and make it better. That's pretty much what I learned from my mom.
yeah, the old school rules.
Uh
They're
huh.
real simple. Yeah, they weren't complicated. All this crap they got going on right now is just to continue the divide and conquer and make the group smaller.
Yeah.
Now you not only do you have men and women, right? There's your first divide and conquer. Now you got men, women, fags, Jews, niggers, spics, pansies, transgenders, Republicans, Democrats, and an occasional baseball player. It
And,
doesn't. There's
and
no way to fix this. This is beyond redemption. What we're doing in society can't not be fixed.
well, that's why there's a meme going all over the place, and I think Grimmy and Moosey talked about it last night.
Mm.
Um, on the Freakers Ball, but there's a meme going around Asteroid 2016. Just get it over with, which, yeah. Uh,
Wow. No. Let me tell you a little secret. Okay.
yeah.
Let me predict the absolute worst for the future of America in 6 months. Right.
Right.
Hillary Clinton is the president of the United States. And as soon as her lips are wet, she's going to go, bye bye, Iran. And you know what? It doesn't matter. We're, our personal lives won't change. The people they bomb the fuck out of, their lives are going to change dramatically. But they've got the public convinced of a bunch of bullshit so that these guys can go over there and do this stuff to these people. And if you ever try to defend a Muslim against America, you usually come out being called horrible names or thrown things at, or if not worse.
Well, I've actually done that on Facebook and had people go all cap locks on me, and oh, I'm traumatized for life now.
Mm. Well, I have not been treated like an American here by my neighbors, my peers.
It's
You know,
because
they
you're
haven't.
not an American, you are Lewish.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's. I seem to have attracted out in the social life uh, people that think like me and you and me, Cirque do, and B,
Yes.
Grimnir. You know, people that are more aware of the traps that they're in than the folk that think, oh, look at how free I am. I have a car and a house. No, you got a ball around your throat, and if you don't do this, that, blah blah blah. You know, it's not a luxury, people. You've been conned, and knowing that you've been conned is a nice beginning. And then after that, we find more people like Mary that want to run for these fucking small offices and keep the small communities away from that big state and federal crap that fucks your life up.
Yeah.
So
Well,
even our small councils over here, our local councils,
Mm.
they are full of Labor, because we've got the Labor Party and the Liberal Party, or the coalition, and the councils are sometimes the coalition council or they're a Labor council. So we can't, even our small local government thing is part of the big political picture. So it's just, it's crazy. You
Right.
can't
But
get away from it.
well, and like yourself, I live in a small population, right? You
Yeah.
don't live in a big, yeah, you live out in the sticks, right? So what I found out about my neighbors is the government passes laws. Okay, that's nice. They smile politely and then they do what they damn well please. You know, they don't look for trouble, but if you want a cigarette in the local bar, light up. They'll give you an ashtray for your table. They got a
Mm.
fund or something for the fines or whatever. They don't give a shit one way or the other. However they do it, uh, I just noticed that here in the local area, these people take less shit than anybody, and I've never even seen an argument. And they drink outside in the street in a big group in front of the train when when it's not cold, and it's the small being responsible, and people know who you are. They've seen you. It's not an anonymous society, so you tend to behave yourself better. And all that city crap that they do is it's for the city, and this ain't a city.
Now it's not as hectic in my town as the city, but like how you were saying, people don't give a fuck. They just go and do what they want to do. Well, I don't know. We have coppers. They roam the streets. They walk into pubs. Um, you can't get away from somebody watching you. Our main
Yeah.
street, about 30 fucking cameras up. Like you
Wow.
can't go from one shop to another without you're on screen. So it's become this. I'd say it's a police state. It's not as bad as the city, but I can't grow a plant in my backyard. We have
Mm,
drones going over, councils use
right. Yeah.
drones and stuff like that. So it's just, oh, I don't know. I want to get back out in the bush, but it's not possible for me anymore. But just get out in the middle of nowhere and nobody else around. It'd be ideal.
And that's sad in the long
Mm,
run. I mean,
mm.
I didn't grow up that way. We had a, I was raised in the suburbs of LA, so I come from a, wow, a pretty unique lifestyle. LA in the 60s was one of a kind. And just like Chicago or Miami or the bigger cities all have they have a like a legend to them. And California was all about smoking dope and having sex with whatever was standing closest to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I grew up in. So all this cameras and for your own good and private. Oh, wow. I've gotten as far away from it as I can go. If I go any further east, I'm gonna have to learn to speak Russian.
I don't know why we have so many cameras. I mean, because it's a small town, and I don't see a lot of crime going on or anything like that. I guess those who agree with the cameras will say it's because of the cameras.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I, personally, I've only been in this town for 10 years or so, and it's a really quiet, decent, law-abiding, I suppose, town, and yet they have all this expense to make sure that I suppose we stay that way.
I don't know. I have no idea. I I really have a hard time making sense of what society is trying to accomplish.
Society is not necessarily a real thing, though. I mean,
Well,
that's
okay,
just a name that they call a bunch of people that are living under certain rules that were not necessarily mutually agreed upon. Um,
well,
and
it's one of those things that exists whether you believe it or not, like the God thing, right? You can't prove nothing, so it just breeds argument, no matter how you say it.
true.
Okay, that's it. I'm done interrupting.
I just, and I catch myself and I'll go, in polite society, but I think it's a word to describe a condition. And you can always change the condition, but you can't do it quickly, and that's what I see with a lot of people. There's an awful lot of people out there that we want change. How in the hell do you think Dangleberry got to the point where he's at? Because he epitomized change. Well, now we barely have any change to rub together in our pockets. Not that it was all his fault. He's
Oh,
just the scapegoat. He's the sacrificial lamb in this whole thing. He's enjoying his role immensely,
Yeah.
but
wouldn't
he
you?
is the sacrificial lamb in this. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I recognize that. But when you get to a society where people do mutually agree upon what is appropriate behavior, as in don't be beating the shit out of each other just for shits and giggles, don't be
Mm.
shooting, don't be stealing, don't be doing this, don't be, lots of those don'ts. Instead of having all those don'ts, how about I start treating you in a manner that I would like to be treated? I think that sounds wonderful. And then how about you treat me in a manner that you would like to be treated? But this has got to be mutual agreement, because if you want to be treated by someone that's in leather with spike heels and whips and chains, well, don't treat me that way, because trust me, darling, you won't like the way I treat you back. Um,
Wow. Being
but
this close to Germany, that's kind of a frightening thought.
yeah, but s- society really is kind of one of those weird words that can mean so many things, and it
Mm.
really is each person's concept, and all of those
Right.
concepts coming together. I think that's kind of sort of what makes society, and that's probably why it is so messed up.
Well, the one that's messed up is the one that we share. The shared illusion society is the one that's a fucking nightmare. The one that is not a nightmare is your own personal society. That
Yes.
one seems to be okay. Most people are all right with their own. But the outside one, with all this crap they're constantly throwing at you like shit, And after, I mean, how many years of that? I went through 50. So, wow. All that, it's like being beaten every day with fear and hatred. And then you step out of it for a couple of years and then you look back and then you realize that was what they did to me. Not you, but that's how I saw the results of 50 years of America in my life.
And now do you understand why monkeys in the zoo throw shit at people?
Uh because they're monkeys, but well, I don't know. I do it in my own way, you know?
Yeah,
Not in society, but here on the electronic society, uh, people. I've gotten into a few disagreements with a few people, and uh, boy, I'm a mean little prick, you know.
when
So
properly motivated, yes.
yeah. So anyway, I ended up marrying this Danish woman that she's really kind and sweet and all that crap. You wouldn't believe we even know each other, let alone got married. But uh, she's good for me to see that. Wow, am I a prick?
Uh, nah, I don't
Yeah.
think of
Oh
you as a
well.
prick.
Well, okay, you don't, but see, other people have. I mean, my family, people I grew up with, whatnot, because of this anarchist belief system that I run. You know.
Yeah, but that's their perceptions. That really has very little to do with you. It's
And it's none of their business in the first place what my political beliefs are. It wasn't. It didn't change anything. It was just words from me, but whatever those words meant to these other people was enough to, hey, you're dangerous. I don't want to be around you.
and that's part of the cognitive dissonance thing.
Yeah, and
You,
and here I am. Now I'm in Denmark, right? And I'm in this little Danish town where people ride bicycles and they take walks with their kids. The children walk alone on the main street here in town without nobody's afraid of nothing. It's really nice, but it reminds me of growing up when I was young in LA. This is I've gone to the past by taking a trip to another place.
cool. You want to know
Yeah.
something that, just to let you know, it does run in my family?
Mm.
I'd posted over on Facebook that we were going to be doing the Dork Table.
Mm.
And my niece wrote a little diatribe. Bless her heart. I just love Fumfer. She is just, wow. And my brother David says, you two really do live entirely too close to each other.
Oh, wow.
But I got to read you this diatribe that she wrote. Holy crap. And I mean, I just kind of skimmed it, and it's like, oh, damn, Fumfer. You come by it honestly. Um, okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Okay. Shoot.
Let's see. And this is in reference to talking about society. Fumfer says, it has its head firmly planted up its ass, and it needs to be carefully removed so as not to cause any further damage than the noxious fumes that have already caused. Take a deep breath of fresh air and try this all again with a clearer mindset. People need to get over their me mentality and think about the greater picture. Human life. All of it. Okay, yes, I feel horrible about all the injustices done to every living creature, but come on, seriously. I do not care who or what is endangering the life of my child. Use whatever means possible to save the life of my child. Yes, I know people have some sort of bleeding heart syndrome, but priorities are seriously askew. People, for the love of all that's holy, use some damn common sense. So, here are some topics we need to discuss. Number one, if you are here illegally, instead of wasting precious time making a gross moronic spectacle of yourself, do something to fix your status. You are wasting the time that you could be using to actually start the legality process. Number two, do not look down on people fighting for a cause. If you are not capable of doing so, then shut the hell up and let those who are do their jobs. And for shit's sake, be grateful. What a bunch of pansy ass fools you make yourselves out to be. Mind you, this is my niece who only lives 20 miles away from me.
How old?
Hi, Moosey. Fumfer is, let me think here, 37.
Oh, okay. So it's a grown up.
Yeah. Number 3, it was a gorilla versus a baby. Enough said. Number 4, Hillary is a joke. Enough said. Number 5, Sanders is a joke. Enough said. Number 6, Trump is an arrogant ass, but still may actually stand a chance of fixing something. Okay, Fumfer, you and I are going to have a talk. Number 7, I do not care what your religious backing is. We all have a God, faith, hope, dreams. I don't care what the color of your skin is. All lives matter. Number 8, welfare is not a lifelong crutch. Get off your lazy ass and do something. Number 9, alcoholism/drug addiction is a piss poor excuse as a disease. There are people with worse issues who cannot fix their problems and yet seem to function relatively normal and do so without reducing themselves to a pity case. You caused what you have become. That should not give you a free pass at life because you were an idiot. And number 10, nobody owes anyone shit. Dry it up, pull up your drawers, work for what you owe yourself. Sorry, Aunt Mary, love you, but man, that felt good. I just love her. She is so fun. Ah. Yeah, it's a family thing.
Are you making an excuse or taking credit?
Taking credit.
Oh, okay.
I used to babysit her when she was little bitty. That's how I can remember how old she is, because she was a year and a half old when my oldest was born.
Well, I got a question for you.
Okay?
All right? When me and other people disagree on major issues, there always seems to be some kind of drama connected to it. They just can't let me think what I want and let them think what they want. There's always the disagreement, the headbutting. And I don't think I know how to deal with it without the drama, because everybody's always given me drama, except for you, Cirque, and B, and maybe Pancakes too, I would say. But I haven't heard from Pancakes in a couple weeks, so I'm not really sure about him now.
Yeah. Yeah. Pancakes, if you're out there, hon, sending you lots of love and support, sweetie, whatever you're going through.
Maybe there's a good side, and he just took off on a trip. He was telling me about wanting to go somewhere where there wouldn't be Wi-Fi access for a bit, but he didn't say he was going to go. He told me plans of it. So I'm just saying maybe he's out there playing around somewhere, but no Wi-Fi access. That would be my guess. Ah, excellent. And try to get my wife to call in here. That might be a kick. Will you want to call in? She's being mean to me.
Oh, yeah, you're so abused.
I know, huh? What am I gonna do? She made me bread.
Well, yeah, she really abused you, didn't she? Damn it.
Yeah, then I got, fresh baked bread. Wow. And I'm not talking Jewish unleavened bread.
How do you have unlaid bread? I thought when you were
no,
getting bread, you were getting laid.
no, leaven.
Oh, oh,
L-A-V.
oh, oh, oh.
Leaven bread. Get your hand out of your pants. Wow, I went through this last night with Vince. Jeez. Wow.
That was crazy. That was a
That-
crazy, crazy session.
Wow, tell me about it. That was 14 reasons not to drink and talk on the radio simultaneously.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. Long
Yeah,
time
when
ago.
he goes on his tangents, I start playing Cubist too. I just mute my mic and open up my Cubist and play 50 or 60 games.
Well,
What is a dork to do? I mean, come on.
multitask. There you go.
I can't multitask. You know why?
Why?
When I multitask, what I find happens is I do three things shitty. Instead of one thing perfect, I do three shitty things.
So, did you do a shitty job of playing games, or did you do a shitty job of listening to Vince?
Exactly. Yeah. See, you you're so quick. There's not going to be a test after this show. You passed. Wow. I mean, hey, I love Vince dearly. It just sometimes he gets on a run, and you just got to know there's nothing to say.
True.
Talking is futile. You will be assimilated. He's like the Borg of the radio. Just assimilated me, and I went, "Oops."
Oh,
There you have it.
he's so
Well,
funny.
one of the best successes I feel we had on that A to Z show thing we did was wavelengths with Larry Woods. And Larry actually he's wants to stay off the mainstream. He's not interested in doing radio right now. So it's like, wow, the one thing I really felt comfortable with is the one thing I couldn't have out of 26 shows.
Well, see, and I follow him over on Facebook. Yes, I am a stalker, but yeah, it's limited technologies, something,
Uh huh.
something, something,
Well, right, but
and he
I've been
does
stuck
share
on the
some
way.
amazing stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
Limitless energy technologies. That's what his Facebook page is.
right. Well, I've been stuck on the wavelength thing for years beyond my awareness of it. It's always been like when I've heard it brought up, in conversation, it always catches my ear, but I never knew why. And Larry just opened, and then I've read a few other things, but when he was talking about the physical energy and the the RPMs of a generator create a harmony. It's physics or whatever the hell, some kind of science crap, right?
Uh huh.
But it's so logical to me for some reason. I just understood what he was talking about without having to Google what the fuck is this and what like legal. What the and for don't they mean two different things? Holy shit, who knew? But I don't know. Just my luck with progress is horrible.
Not necessarily, because
Oh, on a personal level, yeah.
well, it depends on what you consider progress. You know, some
I'd
people
like.
don't realize that if they're not achieving what they actually think they set out to do, they are achieving something else. So you are progressing.
Okay, you remember Cirque's story about the kid that put the 3D gun information on the internet, open source?
Uh huh.
That open source is the key to the whole damn mess that we're truly in. It's all the corporate secrets and the shit that they really put into the crap that we eat that they don't tell us that they put in or whatever it is. We're being lied to somehow, whether it's omission or misdirection or just flat out being fucking lied to your face. Our whole existence is based on being lied to and taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Okay, so how and we're this is how we're raised, and this is what we know, and a lot of people aren't even aware that that's what they know. They've been trained to repeat other things, like patriot or citizen or anything but free. I'm free. I'm free to be told what to fucking do 24 hours a day by God. And if you try to tell me what to do, I'm gonna shoot you because I have a gun. What? That's your life, huh?
Yeah.
I lived in that for 10 years before I got out of America in North Carolina. A lot of uh, just upset Marines, people that, came to make a living in a military town, blah, 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 blah. And wow, the reality of war is not what you read in the newspaper. And living there all that time, I was already anti war when I moved there, but I didn't tell too many people about that. You know?
Yeah.
And I was either around scary enough looking people or I was scary enough looking myself that in the whole 10 years I never drew a fight or an argument or anything that went anywhere.
Well, maybe you just didn't put off the energy that drew a fight.
I do it on the internet with two sentences. Here,
That's
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. I'm going to write two sentences, not even two. I'll do it in one. In the RLM chat, coming up, one loaded sentence.
fully loaded, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
5 words, 6 words,
6 words. Okay.
I think. To five.
You are all fucking slaves. I am not a fucking slave.
I am.
I
Oh, yeah.
haven't gotten laid in oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Uh-oh. Cirque. Oh, honey. I seem to have stepped on something in here. And, but what I mean is the reason I did that was because at some level on paperwork regarding your financial fucking life, there's a bank that owns you.
Yeah.
And the only way to beat it is to be an illegal alien. If you have the paperwork, you're fucked. And if you don't have the paperwork, there's a doorway for you to come right on through.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how you have to be, but when you stop and think about it, the reason you're illegal is because of some squiggles and lines on a piece of paper that someone
Yeah,
said, this is
yeah.
how you have to live by
The,
this right
the
here.
Fed encouraged it. They sponsor it financially. They encourage people in other countries to come to America.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then they tell the people that live there that sweat their ass off every day, blah blah blah. Oh, we've got illegal aliens coming in. How did that happen? By God, they don't tell you. Well, we invited them. We figured, well, there's no real money anyway. We'll spend more paper, blah blah. Give them this, give them that. Piss you guys off really bad. Keep you divided.
Hey,
It's a game.
Penny. Yay, Penny's over here
Penny Hensian, where?
in the
Oh, she on-
RLM.
Well, anyway, I recognize this crap as a big shit game, and most people think I'm crazy. At least that's what the feedback to me has been over the years. You're out of your fucking mind. What's wrong with you? And every time I open a new link, it's about some other deceit, trickery, misdeception that's been put on us by the people that claim that they take care of us. And they don't take care of shit. It's an illusion.
But they do take care of us. They take care. It's just a different kind of taking care of. They take care to make sure that we are dependent upon the bullshit that they're feeding us so that they have job security. So, yes, they do take care of us. It's just not necessarily in a beneficial way for us. I mean, in the short term,
yeah.
it's beneficial,
Uh-huh.
but in the long term, for our actual growth, for our actual using the gray cells, as Hercule Poirot calls them, using those little gray cells to get you to actually do some original thinking on your own.
Okay, wait. You know what? Stop for just. I really despise that. Because every truth that I've come to believe in my last 35 years has been because somebody else told it to me. Right? I would have never got where I'm at alone.
That's true, but
So,
how-
right. Well, you
in order for you to
somehow-
hold it so dear, it has to actually connect with something in you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like Cirque. Yeah, I got it. Okay. But it happens so rarely, I forget what the hell. I got lost on that idea. I went in another direction completely.
Yeah, because I think everybody has something inside them that knows.
Well, yeah, but we're more or less uh, it's beaten out of us by the society, the school, and the church and the politics. They don't want you to stand on. They preach one thing, but the reality of it is the exact opposite.
They want you to be inventive for the betterment of society, but they don't want you to use your imagination to explore what you're capable of.
Oh yeah, they is everybody but me. That's who
Yeah.
they is. If I say they, I ain't talking about my wife, and I'm not talking about me.
Yeah, the
And if
amorphous those people over there thing.
yeah, but and then on the other thing, the other part of that answer is, wow, I don't really. I'm speaking for me. I say you and they quite a bit, but I gets just as sickening.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not afraid to say it. I.
I am the frito
But
bandito. Yehi.
but still, I mean, there's a reality that I live in my personal life, and then there's a reality that I live in my outside my personal life. Things that I don't even want to participate in, but because society exists, I'm forced to, or I got to go live on a mountaintop somewhere and eat, berries and try to watch out for bear shit. And I'm not willing to do that. I like living inside.
Well, yeah. And see, we all make little compromises in order to get along.
Well, what about the people that they claim to, but they really don't because they spray Roundup and buy Coca Cola and vote for Republicans and Democrats, all this stupid shit that they do that in the long run hurts more of us than helps any of us.
But that's part of their path. That's part of their learning process. Everybody has their own path, their own learning process, their
Mm.
own.
Right. Well, that part of the divide and conquer as well.
Yes.
Because, see, it's all convoluted with both good and bad explanations. So there's always a fight about it between somebody.
Yeah, there is. And that's a sad thing because we really need to, instead of fighting and saying, oh, well, you're just dumb, or you shouldn't do this, or that's just bad. Why not just, wow, I've done some, and I want you to accept me for all of my little faults and foibles. So I'm not going to try and push you, prod you, bully you. I will share with you what I've got, and then you can use it as you will. Because everybody interprets things so differently, and everybody goes,
Yeah,
everybody
I agree with
learns at
that.
such a different pace, and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm working on too, man. Because there are times when, wow, I just really would love to just drop kick someone through the goalposts of life. But then I stop and realize that, there were times when I'm sure there was a lot of people that wanted to drop kick my sorry ass too. So, we're all at
Yeah.
different levels.
Okay, I've asked this question for a lot of years, right? What is the one bit of common ground that everybody that's fed up to the level we're all fed up to right here, we all seem to agree on something, whatever that one thing is. It's yet to be identified by anybody and go, oh, that's it, because it would draw more people to it if we could figure out what the attractive part is, because all we really have is complaining about what the government's turned into because nobody knew what they were doing. And the press lies like a motherfucker, but that's another story.
Yeah, but I think we
So,
all have an internal lie detector. We all have our own little built-in bullshit meter. And
oh,
yeah, it
whoa,
gets repressed,
I
from an
know.
early age. They start
Pearl
repressing
Harbor,
it.
9/11.
Yeah.
They just do bigger things to get people shocked in bigger numbers.
Well, and sometimes I think people literally go into shock or a form of shock because it's
Mm.
just so incomprehensible that their government would do that.
So to distract us with all these big things keeps us from living in our little world where we really belong, where we should really be.
Yeah, where we find that we get along with each other not because of something tangible, but because of some intangible, we can't really put a finger on kind of thing that we all just kind of know and get along with.
Well, okay, and so that would equate to like we have borders, right?
Uh huh.
Well, the Dork Table has borders in its own way in the electric world. Nobody would ever be refused to come in, but there's still a door. So there's always a barrier, whether you know it or not. And I think it's how you interpret the barrier before you that dictates how you react to it.
See, and to me, I think all barriers are self made.
Yeah, like I saw the cops today for the first time this year at least. I mean, where it wasn't just a car driving down the road, maybe 3 times in the year. But this time there was two cops, and they were escorting a long-haired guy from the grocery store, and they were in deep conversation. No handcuffs, nobody was violent, slapping, just kind of a loud kind of conversation going on about something in Danish. And I was kind of insulted because when neither one of the cops even noticed I walked by. you know, I used to always, hey, what's he doing? And now I don't even get a notice. Wow. Fuck.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of fun though? To
Yeah,
it's
it was
those
kind
weird
of a
little times
joke.
when you get unnoticed that you what?
Exactly. It was a play out. Yeah, but it really happened. I mean, for and I've been saying for a lot of years, I remember when I chose not to be bothered by the police anymore. And to this day, it's still working.
Yeah, cuz you set that intention out there. You put that vibe out there.
But the ego still goes, hey, I used to be a tough guy once. Maybe I'm small, but hey, whoa. I didn't even get, hey, John, look at this guy. Nothing. These two kids weren't, wow. I think I got my feelings hurt. Oh, this is what disappointment feels like.
Poor Flash, he didn't get harassed by the popo.
Mm. What a thing there's my biggest problem of the day. As I sit here drinking my iced tea in out of a glass. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
Beth, it's kind of funny. No freedom of speech if you wanted to be legal on the road. Isn't that odd? But we choose which freedoms we wish to
yeah, that that
we
that
wish to
chased me
enforce.
into retirement personally. About 4 years ago, little over that, 4.5 now.
Yeah, but you know what? That too is a form of freedom because you chose. And
Oh,
if you
right, right,
can't
right.
make a choice, then you have no freedom. But it so long as there is still a choice to be made, there is at least a little bit of freedom going on there.
Yeah,
So,
okay, and that's all subjective. The human being is the human being. I'm
yes.
more specifically talking about the reality of the way I see the society, not so much you see it this way, it's the way I see it. So
Uh-huh.
I don't mean to speak for everybody else like I do, it's just the way I talk. But uh, until I'm forced to deal with the documents that prove my ownership, they sit in a box. You know?
Yeah.
I I don't feel that I attract that kind of energy into my life, so I don't, and it doesn't happen. And every day, just another day in paradise. Today was cold. Ooh, today it was too hot. Ooh, there you go. Just like everybody else, man.
Yeah.
Maybe the idea that I want to be where I'm at might also enhance, my personal feelings about it. Sure, if I didn't want to be here, I'm sure I wouldn't be. Oh, this is a great place. But I really like it here, so it is a great place because I like it here.
Well, see, there you go. It's all about perspectives.
Well, right. It's whatever you bring. What? See, there I go with you. Whatever I bring to the party is what I'm going to smoke.
Yeah.
I don't go to the party looking for shit. I go to the party looking for somebody to share my shit. And because I live like that, the rewards of it are tenfold every time.
Yeah. Okay. I'm reading the chat over here.
No,
And
I was just bragging about being lucky as opposed to being in an American fucking prison for smoking a piece of grass, basically, of flower. So, yeah, because a lot of my friends did.
okay, they're talking about some of the having the car and being not being free to drive without a license isn't a choice. And
Mm, mm,
see, in the way I see it, everything is a choice. You can choose to either comply with the rules of society
mm-hmm,
or some of the rules of society, or you can choose not to. If you
mm-hmm.
choose not to comply with some of those rules, then yes, some of your freedoms are infringed upon, but some of them are expanded. Um, at least the way I see it. I mean, yeah. I, I, I get a driver's, I have a driver's license. I will probably renew my driver's license. I still pay for the freaking tags on my car and the insurance and all those fun things because those things are beneficial to me at this point in my life. When I no longer feel that the benefit outweighs the detriment, then I don't know. Maybe I won't do them anymore. And I have a very good friend out here that went for 15 years without having a driver's license and rode his motorcycle all over the country, drove his pickup all over the country for 15
Mm-hmm,
years without a
mm-hmm,
driver's license, without insurance.
mm-hmm.
But that was also prior to having to have proof of insurance in order to get tags on your vehicle. So, you know, the,
Yeah, but those greedy insurance companies found all kinds of loopholes and doorways. It's just a another Ponzi scheme. Insurance. It's not what it started out to be. Now it's just a joke.
yep. Oh, and free enslaved, my very first car, I never drove once. I made payments on it. I tried to tag it, but for some reason, one person said it didn't pass safety inspection, another person said it did, but yet I couldn't get tags for it. So I paid for a car for 2 years and never drove it once. And then sold it to my little brother, and he went down and didn't have a problem at all getting tags for it and drove it all through high school. So yeah, I've been there, done
Hey,
that.
Warner was getting into the government. He says governments, corporations, and especially money are instruments of control for what Quigley termed as the network of global oligarchs. Realization of their existence, history, and goals has impacted my and hopefully others' perceptions and perspectives. Well, yeah, that is the goal. The problem that I'm trying to bring awareness to is the petty quarrels that split the groups into smaller groups because we're all conditioned to fight for crap that's not even real. Like what you were saying was a fiction. It's all a fiction. Society, government, religion. You either believe it's true or you do not. And if you believe it's true, it's true. There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody can convince me of what I don't want to believe. And I assume other people are of that same, that's the way it works for them. They believe what they believe, and you're not going to change their mind. Well, I'm not quite like that. I believe what I can see. and everything else I kind of flow with it until I'm proven wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, I married a woman 18 years younger than me, for fuck's sake. Christ, I'm 56, right? And I was walking to the grocery a couple weeks ago, and I was wondering, geez, do other people look at me and go, "That poor old guy walking to the store"? D- does it ever? Maybe other people don't know. I choose not to drive a car. I don't want to be bothered with machines. If I wanted a machine, I'd get a bicycle. I don't even want one of those. Everything is, you know, every convenience you have makes life a little more difficult in another area. So if you're driving a car, then you got bikes and walkers to look out for. If you're riding a bike, you got cars. If you're walking, you can move out of their fucking way and let them go. I'm not in a hurry. I'm walking. I can stop for a second, let a car go by,
Yeah.
or a bike go around me, or whatever. Where am I going? The ice cream's going to melt on the way back. Well, because I took 5 seconds to wait for somebody. And that little bit of mindset, that selfishness that was beaten into me as a child, me, I'm first, I'm the best, I'm that, fuck, all that shit was, in the long run, did more damage than good.
And yet you learned from it, didn't you? It's kind of like with the real, like he was talking about with the realization of existence, histories, and goals. Yes, it has impacted everyone, but it's like a lot of the, especially, I'm sure y'all know, I've had some fun so far this year, and I use the word fun very loosely. Um, especially on the internet.
Yeah.
I've had some not so good times, but I have learned so much from those, and I've learned lessons that I don't think were necessarily intended by those that taught the lessons to me. But I most definitely, and some of that I think is because I was open to look at it from another perspective. Not
Yeah.
initially, yeah, it was a big bada boom ouchie, whether it was emotionally, financially, whatever. Mainly emotionally. I had massive butt puckers going on for a while there.
Yeah,
But
people were mean. Yeah.
yeah, why the
Or
hell?
or
How
or they
could
were
they? That
or
kind of.
they were offering you help without knowledge of what the problem that was to be fixed. And then when you would politely try to say, "No, thank you, it's not like that," they wanted to continue telling you what it was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
But
holy shit.
yeah, but then I learned that, I got exactly what I wanted,
Hmm.
just
Yeah,
not
we
in the
all did.
manner
Yeah.
that I wanted it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a different delivery system, but it was still the same package that I ordered. It just didn't come from.
Yeah. I know. I know. I was there.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe that it all worked out so well though. You
Yeah.
know, because James and Ian both have some life problems that are upsetting them both right now at the same time. But back at the beginning of the year, they got theirself a damn little website going, and then circumstances took them both away at the same time, so they can't operate it. And after that, then Bo Diddy and Grimner came up with FN.
Yeah.
So, well, I like ground roots things. I like starting. I like planting something and seeing what happens to it.
Yeah. It's the whole one thing leads to another kind of thing. Whether you and
Shit.
I have actually, while playing in my garden these last few nights, I've been going through all of my seeds, and I
Hmm.
have some grocery sacks full of seeds that I got from my mother a year ago, and I have no freaking clue what they're seeds of. But I have seeds. I know they're
Uh,
flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers. Because
uh-oh.
there's a whole bunch of different seeds all kind of mixed together in this grocery sack, because mom just started throwing seeds in there from her flowers that she was had in her yard. So I'm really looking forward to this year. It's not going to get done, but next year, the beginning of or in spring, I'm going to go out and I'm going to work up some ground and I'm going to just throw those seeds out there. And what the
Let's
birds
see what
don't
happens.
eat,
Yeah.
what sprouts, I'll find out what it was that I got. But everything in life is a seed that's thrown into a grocery sack, and you have no
Yeah.
frickin' clue what the
Yeah.
hell those seeds are. But you just got to go out there and work that dirt and throw them in, and
Yeah.
what comes up comes up. What the birds eat, because they'll eventually shit it out somewhere else, and then you'll have a weird plant
Mm.
growing somewhere else. So hey, just kind of sit back and go, dude, I have things growing. I don't know what they are, but I'm gonna sit back and watch them grow.
Yeah, it's my experience in life that the schemers and the planners and the plotters and all those hard working mofos that are gonna change shit, they're the ones that are fucking everything up.
Yeah.
And the truth to this whole mess it's been lied about for all our collectively entire lives since well before that. And people are stuck on law and all this other crap. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really apply to us because we're not in a courtroom. The few that do get stuck in that shit, that wow, I pity them. But for the most of us, we won't have any litigation to deal with. You following where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's more a part of that shared illusion that we've all been conditioned to believe is real. So because of that, it is real, and because you believe it, it finds you. And depending on maybe you're having a bad day, it punishes you. Maybe you're having a good day, you get some kind of reward. You find a bag of cash in the street. And people are really conditioned to believe there's a good and a bad, and everything has duality, and just that's what they want. What they don't realize is believing that system makes the system this unbearable shit we call life, as an overall society with all the war and bullshit we go through. Is It's not necessary, but it's easier to do this than it is to do the right way.
Yeah. It that reminds me of the teal swan video that I'd watched the other day,
Mm-hmm.
where she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Fuck the law of attraction."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, the longer I listened to that, and then I listened to it again because it was like, wait a minute here, did I really hear that right? And it makes sense, because sometimes you try and live to where and project all of this stuff, like, this is what I want coming into my life, this is what, but you
Mm-hmm.
in the temporal world, in this physical world, we don't always make that connection that our spiritual self, um, maybe made deals or figured things out, or not necessarily made deals, but had these ideas or concepts of what it wanted to learn in this trip in the temporal or physical world. And so what the spiritual self was attracting, the lesson that it was wanting to learn, when it came through on the physical plane, it was not necessarily a pleasant experience on the physical plane, but it did take you to the lesson you needed to learn from the spiritual plane. And when I heard that, it was like, wow, wow, that makes a lot of sense in a very weird, abstract kind of way. Because, it's one of those be careful what you wish for because you just might get it kind of things. A lot of people don't realize that when you rub the lamp and you talk to the genie and you say you want to be uptight, out of sight, and all squeezed in, you better watch it because he'll turn your ass into a tampon. Uh, you know, which is uptight, out of sight, and all squeezed in, as opposed to being just a way cool dude. You have to be specific and you have to understand that sometimes, in order to learn that lesson, you're going to get hurt. And the
Oh,
getting
that.
hurt is the process. That's growth. That's making you stronger. That's making you see clearer or broadening your perspective a little bit.
Well, yeah, you fell off the bike.
Yeah. And so
That's
you
all that
eventually
is.
learned not to how to not
Do what
fall
you
off
did.
the
Yeah,
bike.
yeah, yeah.
I
Right,
kind
but
of
it,
look at that sort of thing as I think I've said this to you before once, Flash. When you're learning a new behavior or you know you want to change something about yourself, the universe kind of gives you practice sessions.
mm,
Um,
mm,
things come to you and so that you can practice this new particular way of behaving. I'm not sure if I'm saying or explaining this well, but I figure that yeah, we get lessons they're sent to us as practice, because you can say, oh yeah, I'm going to behave this way, but unless you have an example to show yourself that you can
mm,
behave that way. So,
mm.
and I think the lesson, you know, the shit stops happening when you kind of integrated that.
Decide when you
Yeah, that,
decide. Yeah.
yeah, get
Well,
very dumb.
I think the group of us, all people, everybody that I've ever met, we are collectively not encouraged to seek our potential.
Mm.
They disguise it as other shit. They distract you with useless crap like bodybuilding or being a sports player or physics or some crap that 1 in 1,000 will excel at. And that's not what works. What works is if you got a dozen semi intelligent people in a room at the same time, and their goal was to work as a group to create the best golf club ever made. And they had at their access the best equipment and the best materials to make it with. Do you think they would be a better chance of them doing it as a group or competing against each other, one against the other, all 12?
I don't know. That's too deep for me.
Well, many hands make light work.
Yes, that's
I mean,
true.
why? Okay, here we're all shoved all this shit down our throats. Oh, a doctor is so much more important than a plumber. Blah blah blah. Well, you know what? You got to have certain kind of thinking process to understand either subject. You don't just. Some people are natural with some things. Other people can be taught, and some people can't be taught. No matter what you do with them, they never learn it. So I think that the individuality thing has been shoved down on us. So we will not group together and use our best skills together with other people to make one final product. The competition keeps us stupid.
Now, see, I just got a visual image of like 5 or 6 people trying to carry this big tub of water that's just below the rim, and each one of them is trying to carry their little bit a little bit higher. So with every step they take, they slosh a little bit more water out of that bucket. And then when they finally get to where they were going, the bucket is completely empty because they've all been jockeying to see who can carry their side of the bucket higher, not realizing that they just spilled everything they were carrying.
Well, that's what I mean by the competition. But the many hands together would be I'd go, hey, let's build us a thing to push it on or pull it on or carry it on. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I
And
would encourage other people's ideas to come up with the best idea we could. And I don't think as a whole our society is actually run that way.
no, no, we are competitive as opposed to being cooperative. You
And
know,
then rude and ignorant if the other guy doesn't agree with your side. Then the other guy's he's a stupid ass fuck and should go home and hang himself. And it could be as something as petty as the world is round.
yeah.
I mean, and I mean it petty because it serves no purpose to have the knowledge in my life. I could give two flying fucks But other people will argue and take personal insult to this because they disagree with the shape of something they're too small to see.
Yeah.
There you go. And but with all our modern technology, we've all been bullshitted into believing a lot of stuff that isn't true so that we'll constantly fight amongst ourselves and not want to sit at the dork table. With all those idiots that don't get it.
Yeah, damn it. I just don't get it that hey, you and I we can go over there. We can shit. We got that done in a third the time cuz the two of us worked together on it as opposed to no, I'm going to
Hmm.
go do my thing and you go do your thing and it takes us 5 times longer because we're so damn busy bickering.
Well, is it B? Is it just me that I'm the one that sees society this way, or is do you? What's your take on it?
Oh, God, I don't know. It's too early in the morning for me to even
Oh,
make
you're late at night. All right. Well, I
it.
didn't want to snub you. If
No,
you don't
it's
want
all
to
right.
stay, it's up to
Yeah, no,
you.
I'm just listening. I'm listening. Now it's 3:30 and my
Yeah,
brain's not put together.
but you got the cool accent though. Everybody's got long hair now, but you got still got the accent going for you. You and Cirque.
Oh, God,
That's a
yeah.
conversation. When you
But
and
see,
Cirque, it's like,
you
oh,
guys have got the accent to me.
right, right, right. Of course, I know. I've got the accent here.
Mm,
I get a kick out of some of the kids that they study English at school, and the ones that do are the ones that speak to me. The Danes are very shy people about their accents. A lot of them think they speak English funny. It sounds funny because it sounds funny to them, but to me, it's very exotic and
yeah.
it's not like German or French or anything. It's really sounds like something I want to listen to.
I used to cop a lot of stick when I first got over here and that because of my Kiwi accent. And now when I speak to my family, I get a lot of stick because of my Aussie accent.
Isn't that a bitch?
And, and seriously, like it's just evolved, It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I can't speak Kiwi now for the life of me.
You remember talking? Do you remember talking with Kelly, or did you ever talk with her?
Oh yeah, I talk. No,
Yeah,
we just
but
did
do you
we?
remember her accent was so unique?
Yeah, Kiwi accent.
But but she lived amongst the Scots and Kirkwall for 20 years,
Yeah,
and
see, I notice the accent when I listen to my family. I can hear the accent,
and
and it's
see how we're all divided though. Every area of life, and we always have you're a guy and I'm a girl to fall back on if we got along on everything else.
yeah,
So there's no way this game that we play in society is ever going to work for the better of everybody. It's only going to work for the better of like 1%, and everybody else suffers for it. But they get to say they're free and they have houses.
yeah. I've got a block of land, a 20-acre block of land that I own, and I've stopped paying rates on. And they sent me letters and
Yeah.
they send a debt collector and all that, and I just shoved it in the drawer. I don't go. There's nothing there, and you know, we had a bus and a tank. It was all set up for living, and they wouldn't let us live there, right, because we didn't have a proper dwelling. So eventually, after them threatening me with about a $50,000 fine or something for living there, we kind of left. And then when we went back there, somebody had taken the bus and somebody had taken the tank, and there's nothing there anymore. So I think, okay, well, I'm not paying rates anymore. And one day they'll sell it, and I don't care. That's a
Oh,
yoke around my neck.
oh yeah. Beth, I'm sorry, B, but
No, go.
Beth is slamming me because I'm not an American exceptionalist. I don't, I don't see the benefit in competing with 12 other people and then 12 other people got to go because there's only room for one. That's such a to me, that's just a shit way to live. And if that's what you want out of life, you're going to spend a lot of time alone and talking to yourself, because who the fuck wants to be around somebody that's that anal that they think they're the best at something? It's crazy. That shut everybody the fuck up.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out how, cuz that's not necessarily how I see that, what she said, but
Right. And in my interpretation, hey, look, whoa. So what? It's my interpret. I didn't say I was upset about it. I don't really,
yeah.
I'm just voicing an opinion based on it's all that's the whole thing. As long as we're in this fucking rage and disagreeing and not getting along and all this happy horse shit, we're exactly where we're supposed to be so that this society can fuck us a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. See, and Beth is saying that's not what she was saying at all, which is where I was kind of going. It's not, I think where she was going was, like when you're at a job, when you're whatever, and everybody gets paid the same. Doesn't make a shit bit
Oh,
of
here we
difference
go.
what you do. Everybody gets paid the same, no matter how good you are or how bad you are. Y'all get paid the same.
Yeah.
Then the people that are the overachievers, they stop overachieving, and the
Yeah.
underachievers actually become even greater underachievers. So, that aspect I do understand, but when you take away the pay part, the working for someone else, or however you wish to look at that, when I do something, if I'm doing something, if I want to do something, I'm going to do the best that I can do. And the reason that I do that is, number one, my mom instilled in me that if you're going to do something, do it right the first time so you don't have to redo it multiple times later and waste time. That's number
Yeah.
one. And number
Common
two,
sense.
I enjoying the few fruits of my labor. So if I go out there and I bust my ass and wind up aching and hardly able to walk at the end of the day, but by God, I got the yard all cleaned up, got the garden put in. I'm going to go in, I'm going to soak in the tub. The next morning, yeah, I may be a little stiff and sore getting up and moving around, but when I walk outside, it's like, yeah, I did
Okay.
good. I did
Uh,
good. So
that
sometimes the results of your work are reward enough, but I think that's a whole different
well,
aspect of what she was talking about.
okay, I'm going more on my aversion to the competition. The competition is not a good thing to me. Might be great for you. I think it's a selfish, self-centered, egotistical waste of everybody's time and effort. It's a whole lot easier to work with other people to get a common goal done than it is to work against five and do it yourself. And that's what I was raised with. That's how they made a monster out of me. I hated it.
Well,
And
that
when I realized it was a choice I was making, I was in my 20s, for fuck's sake. I didn't know I was raised by a maniac with a whip and told this, that, and the other. And you don't argue with people that are bigger than you and decide you're going to listen to me or I'm going to make you bleed. So there's no choice in that kind of life, right? And as I got lucky in my 20s, I met people that weren't like the ones I was raised with, that were different, that understood things I was trying to find out the truth about, that were willing to tell it to me. And they broke me of that competition crap. I got out of being a headhunter. I changed my whole fucking life all around.
and yet that was all part of the work aspect. The
Well,
job
yeah,
the
work
job
success.
aspect
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That was hard to break. Yeah, it was hard to fucking to look. Looking back, I took a lot of shit from a lot of people over the years for my decisions. But out of the ones that are still left, I think I've got the least to complain about in my day.
Yeah.
You know, I made life simple for myself, and I get so upset because it was so easy to do this. And I see people struggle so hard all the time, even here. I mean, there's a lot more sheep here than there is non sheep. But I just smile and say have a nice day, which is it's dishonest, but uh, the way I've seen society is the more shit you throw at people, the more police that want to come and arrest you. So don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then where's I mean all this I've still got anger from when I was a child growing up for crying out loud. But what I don't understand is when I go out in society, I leave my anger suit at home. You know, I put it in a closet and go, I'll be back in an hour. Don't go anywhere. And I go do my thing and I say, they say, how are you today? I'm good. Have a nice day. You know, oh, it's nice today. Oh, it's too cold today. Chit chat, bullshit I'm really bad at. And it seems to work. You know, just be nice to people and don't ask them for nothing, and they're happy to fucking know you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when the neighbor needed some help building a fence, I was out there sweating in the sun building a fence with him. You know, because it was for the both of us. We both needed this thing done, and so we got together and we did it.
Yep.
And that's, I think that is where things went wrong at home for me is that independence and that competition, and everybody had to get more and better, and three houses instead of two houses, and 14 cars instead of 10, and what?
Yeah, and you can only drive one at a time. You can only live
Uh,
in one at a time.
mm, it's it's so crazy, and I blame the results that I see on the bullshit that the government and the media feeds people as a daily diet.
Yeah, but people keep coming up to that trough. And that's the thing. That is a choice, whether it's a conscious one or an unconscious one. People keep going back to that trough.
Right, and I'm not aware of my own unconscious choices. I'll, you know, that comes with a little falling down.
Yeah.
You know, like meat and Cirque. Shit, we started out in an argument. Not really an argument, but a disagreement where bullshit. No woman's like that. You're fucking with me. Guess what?
Yeah.
She wasn't lying. Who knew? But I was in a position in life where, well, why not fly to Denmark and see if this is real or not?
See, and to me that is just so absolutely amazing and gutsy and
Yeah,
yet
well,
carefree on both
yeah,
of your parts to just say fuck it
yeah.
and just do it.
See what happens. Yeah.
You know, that just wow. I don't know that I would be that brave. I really don't.
I don't know if it's a matter of brave or just a matter of experienced enough in my life to know that my intentions will dictate my results.
Huh. It just I don't know. You guys just amaze me. It's like, wow, how
Yeah,
how
we yeah,
absolutely wild that
yeah.
this
We
happened.
lucky. Yeah. Even her family when they come around to see us, they just say she's basically never acted like this before. Whatever the hell you've done to her has made her different. So I don't know.
I
I just take things as they come to me and don't do the things I don't want to do.
There you go.
And always keep in mind, if you try to help 10 people, you don't have to have a time limit, but make this is what I did for myself as a goal. I tried to do 10 things for other people. And as a result of doing things for other people, 9 of those people said, "Well, no, I don't really want you to do that, but thanks." But the one person that did want something done, I did it. And you know, there was time and whatever effort invested into doing something, and I didn't want nothing back. I just wanted to help somebody else. And as a result, in areas of life, other things are made better for you because you give, not because you take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's all subjective because it's happening to me. It's not happening to you. You're just well, you Skype with us and whatnot. You've known us for a while, but if people didn't have any contact and they were just hearing the stories, it would just sound like some bullshit. What do you call it? Facebook nonsense
Mm-hmm.
crap. But no, this thing's gone through two websites. This is we started in Copenhagen. Now we're in Frederiksvark. So yeah, it's got a life of its own.
Yep.
We have a dog and a cat, and I don't know. I never thought I'd live like this again.
And you know what's funny? Just this
Mm.
week, I got reminded of you guys at work because we had a couple come in asking about a vehicle out on the lot. She is from the panhandle of Texas, and he is from Sweden.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Oh, that
they've been
video.
married 20 years, and it's like that is just so absolutely amazing. And I actually told them I have some friends on the internet that he is from and she is from, and they
L.A.
went,
Yeah.
"Oh, how cool is that?" So,
That video you put up on Freedom's Network about the pure blood people,
uh
and it
huh,
had the DNA tests.
uh huh,
That well, oh, that was great. I really got it. I'm a Heinz 57, but I know it, right?
yeah,
So it's so nice to see that all these people that both complain and brag. I'm for neither. The Arab and the Jew are both fucked in my opinion. I don't pick one over the other. They're just people to me. I happen to be born into one tribe on paper, blah blah blah. I don't really give a flying shit. But when you try to tell somebody else, no, no, your uncle, well, I think he fucked a peacock when he was in Venezuela because I saw your cousin.
yeah,
And they what? They're not even smart enough to get the gist of that little dirty joke I just told you.
yeah.
But purity, right now, what is wow, boy, the Nazis are gonna love it if they ever listen to this bit. Well, yeah, they got the English guy that hated the Germans was 5% German and like 30% English, and the Icelandic guy was from everywhere but Iceland.
Yeah,
But when they started out, they were so, oh, I'm so proud. The woman, oh, I'm French. Oh, ho, ho.
yeah, and
No,
she had zero French.
yeah, you're English, you dumbass.
Yeah,
And then, it's just a corporation that owns your paperwork. It's not you. Don't, wow, we're so conned.
and yet that was wonderful to watch. Their
Yeah,
reactions and stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the little gal that the Kurdish gal that hated Turkey.
yeah.
Not
That she's,
necessarily the Turkish people, but the government of Turkey,
yeah,
and
she's
then
a nerd.
wound up finding out she had a cousin in the room who was Turkish.
Yeah,
It was like
that,
that was just so freaking cool, and that's the kind of stuff that makes the world just a little bit smaller, a little bit
yeah.
more accessible, a little bit more understandable.
Yeah, I think when you're face to face physically with things too, it changes the reality of it. It's not in your head anymore. It's actually outside of you. You can see it and touch it. And the stuff that people cling to the most is the shit they can't prove.
Yeah,
Why is that? What do you think? I don't know if I do it. I probably do and I'm not aware, but I'm looking out of my game, so I don't pay as much attention to uh, how I say things or what they mean as the person listening. I'm just blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm the Vince in me comes out when I talk to you more than anybody.
well, that's okay.
I
You
don't.
need to let that out, and
Whoa.
I like listening.
Uh,
So this is such a change for me because I go into autopilot mode when I'm doing my rocket chair and just kind of
mhm, mhm.
and there's time I have to admit I've listened to a couple of shows, not too many, but I've listened to a couple and thought I need to slow the fuck down.
Well,
But
that there again, it's all for you to decide. I just listen to the show because sometimes they're fucking hysterical. Other times, your opinion is so far from mine. I want to throw the computer against a wall. I, I never know.
yeah, and yet we're still friends.
Well, see, that's what I mean. Is what you believe is your business. I don't have to agree with every fucking thing you say just because we're friends.
Yeah.
Or nor do I have to flaunt my disagreement with you. You know, sometimes I just keep my mouth shut and don't say nothing. And I just shake my head. Oh well, there she goes. And but
That's what a lot of
right,
people
but
do with me. Oh, well, there she
right, but
goes.
see, that's okay. But that's my version of episode, and that's one individual thing. It doesn't. They're not, they're linked together, but they're not. They don't. To me, for some reason, they don't form anything. They're just events that take place. You know,
Yeah.
the opinions, something to talk about when you're not alone. Because when you're alone, you always agree with yourself. You know, unless you're Anthrax and probably threaten yourself with a gun or something. Stop or I'll shoot. Shoot or I'll stop. Hey, I started this. No, you didn't. I did.
Blazing Saddles.
I'm telling you, man. I. That kid was wow. Anyway, some people they entertain me in such sick ways that I really don't want to associate with them because I'll come out of it looking really bad. I love stupidity. I mean, wow. Stupidity to me has the same effect of seeing a 1954 Cadillac, a lime. I saw it the other day on the way to the grocery, lime green Cadillac, and it was just beautiful. I had to stand there and look at it for a minute, and I get that same kind of rush out of somebody that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know, the train wreck. Hey, is that a leg? No. Wow. Oh, that's a foot. Man, and you can't go. You got to stand there and argue with yourself about what you don't want to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so many sick things that link us as people that we avoid and don't talk about, but we spend all this time voting for Hillary or Trump or Bush or Obama or the colored blue or whatever the fuck crap you believe in. And the thing that just amuses the hell out of me is I understand for me that whatever I believe is true because it's me. And I look at other people, and if they're trying to convince me, are they selling me what they believe, or are they trying to ask me to believe it too? I- I'm so separated from it now. I'm I think I'm lost. I need a direction.
No, you're just taking the scenic route.
Wow, man, it's a trip.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, it's like the I told you I was walking to the store and these two kids wanted cigarette, blah blah blah. Never saw them again. Haven't seen them since. But I run into them two times in 3 times in 2 different days. Things like that stick with me for whatever reason, and they're just little, minute, insignificant little. I don't know what do you call 'em, memories, or little flashes. You know, something that made you feel good for just that split second. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of nice to help another delinquent get on the road to delinquency. And I think if you're going to be a delinquent, I think you should have a cigarette. It Yeah, you see, to society, that cigarette justifies your delinquency and it intensifies the appearance. So yeah, you should smoke. And if you really want to fucking shock them, make roll your own cigarettes, especially in America where they're still buying packs of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Roll your own tobacco and make them look like joints on purpose. Oh well, yeah, you can't smoke inside anymore. But wow, we used to have some fun when you could.
That
Yeah.
reminds me, I went to a nightclub and it was in Auckland with my father, and I sort of come out to Dad and I told him that I'd smoke pot, and I was also smoking rollies, tobacco, and I said, "Oh, here, watch this," and I rolled up a cigarette, made it look like a joint, and then I dropped it on the floor. And I said to Dad, I said, you just wait and see. And that, and I wasn't even there for a couple of minutes before somebody came surreptitiously along and picked it up, and off they went with it, you know. And Dad was gobsmacked. This is the one and only time I ever been to a nightclub with the old man.
Wow.
It was fun. He's still
Oh,
kicking.
we
He's
got to
act-
take Kelly to Freetown when she was here.
Oh man.
Yeah, she was in. She couldn't believe it was. We're sitting there in a pub, drinking beer, smoking hash. Everybody in the club is sitting there drinking beer, smoking hash. So nobody gave a shit.
Mm.
It's not like, I mean, it was. You're so unimportant in that part of the town. It's just unbelievable. Nobody cares what you look like or how you're dressed. It was very unique, and I would say that being so open with the hash in that part of town and down on the drugs encourages that freedom
Mm.
where things are just comfortable.
Yeah, like it. Oh, it's still against the law here and that, but there's been a few 420 celebrations around the country and stuff, and there's a place called Nimbin where there's lots of. It's an alternate town, I suppose you'd say. There's lots of hippies there and stuff, and I mean, I could go down there and buy some weed with no problem. It's about an hour, I suppose, away drive. But
Wow.
when they had the 420 thing, that the coppers were there, they
Yeah.
didn't actually bust anybody. But what they did is all the routes out of town, they had the coppers there,
Mm.
and they were, because they do drug testing here, they were stopping everybody and drug testing them.
Wow.
They didn't arrest anybody on the actual in the town itself.
Yeah, be careful of legalization. There's always a problem with it.
Yeah.
So in other words, Australia is still a penal colony, huh?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it sure is. There's them and us.
Wow. Well, guess what, guys? We are just about out of time. So I'm going to, yeah, actually, we're going to go over. So if
Uh-oh.
y'all want to
Sorry.
say anything before I shut it down?
No, thanks for helping, and I'd like to keep in touch with you on, however regularly on your run for office.
I don't
Yeah,
run, but
just
I'm
to-
doing this. So what the hell?
Your crawl to office.
My trundle along and bullshit.
Oh, boy, I just had a terrible idea. Never mind. But you'd probably get more votes.
Wow.
But
Well,
it has
thank you.
nothing to do with a half-naked car wash or anything crazy like that.
No.
Thanks heaps for letting me like sort of blurb every now and then.
Oh, thank you, Mary B. I love listening to you. You always have such wonderful things to say. So I'm really glad you joined.
Yeah,
I-
anytime. We were banished to the Dork Table together a long time ago, so it wouldn't be the same without you.
Oh, thanks heaps. And yeah, look,
Yeah.
I'll sign off now because it's after 4, and I think that I might
All right.
piss off
Yeah.
to bed.
We'll whenever we figure out what happened to Pancakes, we'll try to get him on here somehow.
Oh, that'd be good.
All right. Well, good
Okay.
night.
No, no,
Thanks for-
take it
Night,
easy.
night, B.
No, no, thanks, Mary.
Aha, love you, darling.
Love you too. See you later.
Bye bye. Night, night.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
Well,
cool.
good. We covered a lot of topics. I don't know why that woman gets so up. Reading her intake, her interpretation of what I'm saying ain't necessarily what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you
We're
know
off,
what?
right?
We're still live, so I haven't shut nothing off. So thanks everybody. Y'all have been listening to the Dork Table. Thank you ever so much for joining along. And if you want to play along with us sometime, just message me either over here in the RLM or over on that effin network, and I'll send you my contact info on Skype, and we'll let you play along. That would be cool. But until next week, yeah, I'll be around next week. It's the weekend
but
after.
not the week
I
after.
won't be
Yeah.
here because I got a family
Yeah.
reunion.
Yeah.
But y'all have an absolutely awesome rest of your weekend. Be sure to come back